Good evening, even though it's the afternoon, and welcome to 86 Armored, I guess. So I was out with my friend. I'm just gonna go straight into it. I can't be asked. I was out with my friend yesterday, and we got talking about Arsenal, as you do. And I said to him at the time, like, I may as well just be filming now, in terms of on the day, because that would have been my video done. And no, I don't want to move that. Give me 1 second. There we go. Let me move myself to the side, nice and small-ish. So, I was out with my friend and we were just talking about Arsenal, and I got into like quite a impassioned speech, let's say. Just about all the BS really, and I've got no internet, so I'm currently on my mobile data, so I'll be able to upload more frequently from today, because the Virgin engineers are meant to be coming. But so I'm here on my phone data, just looking online, and it's like Barcelona interested in Aubameyang, which we all know. You got Coutinho coming in for Aubameyang, or maybe Lacazette, and then you just see to the right of it, Xhaka signs a contract extension. You go down, and it's like, you know, Brentford messed around with Arsenal, and I'm just sitting there, just like, man, where do you even go from here? Like, from top to bottom, this has been a lot of BS for a long time, but fuck me, this is another level of shit. I mean, like, other fans will banter and all the rest of it, but I've never been a fan to banter, because, like, for me, it's like, okay, we're dog shit now. In 15 years, maybe we'll be a top team again, and whoever's on top will be dog shit. Like, it's a cycle. I don't see the point in bantering when it's just a wheel, and everyone's going to be at the bottom at some point. But it's like, where do I begin? So Edu is the first one. So he said, right, give me till this summer to show you what I'm about. Let me move this down a bit more. Yeah, there we go. I don't think, actually that's worse. I'll just move it back up. But Edu said what? Give me the, I fucked it. But Eddie turns around and says, you know, he wants to be judged by this summer. So for me personally, because I'm a balanced person, right? When it comes to Arteta, okay, let me go with Arteta, right? The big elephant in the room. The guy's not good enough, and he's a terrible man manager. In fact, he's the worst man manager in the world, period. In any profession, you'd be hard pressed to find a worse fucking manager than that. Like, he's terrible. But on the topic of Arteta, you still can't really judge him based on the fact that he has not had... People say, oh, he's been backed. Does he have a squad full of players, or is the squad full of fucking holes and it's a complete dog shit as usual? It's full of holes, so you can't judge him based on that element. But in terms of man management, the retarded decisions over and over again, guy's not up to scratch. He's just not up to scratch at all, man. He can't be at Arsenal. And then, like, so they needed he should have been sacked in December. End of. He should have gone. And then you look at it now. He says, "Oh, we need until the end of the window for me to be judged," is what Edu said. It's nearly the end of the window. I don't give a shit who we sign. It's a shambles. We need a right back. We need a goalkeeper. And I'll say it, and I will never let this go. Between Edu and Arteta and whoever the hell else is in that club, you're seriously telling me this is a professional sport, right? Professional teams. A guy comes in, absolutely tears it up in Martinez, and at the very least proves that he's worthy to say, okay, this season, coming in, you're starting. Simple. It's competition. It's not nicey-nicey. It's not a charity. It's not, I don't know, a youth offenders place or a youth club or like, you know, one of those community support things where it's like, oh, you're a bit down and out. Yeah, everyone comes in and we help you progress with your life. It's Arsenal flipping football club. It's competition. How do you sit there between, and Arteta's a midfielder, Edu is an invincible, and you're seriously telling me that between the two of you clowns and whoever the hell else is involved in that you sat there and you were like, Martinez, off you go for 17 million. What the fuck, man? What are we dealing with here? How can you seriously tell me that? And this is what I said to my friend yesterday. Edu is a flipping invincible, right? The guy was in the Invincibles across the whole of sport. Every sport discipline goes down as one of the best sporting teams ever. And I'm not a tie. I'm not one of these delusional ass flipping Arsenal fans that just comes out and chats rubbish, right? You look at it balancedly, logically. Chicago Bulls type thing. You had what? Jordan, Rodman, and all those other guys. You had like what? The trebles in the treble winning side of United, the Liverpool teams of the 80s, the Liverpool team that won the Champions League, Pep Man City, that Chelsea Mourinho team that broke the Invincibles, the damn Invincibles. I don't know, the New Zealand rugby team, whatever. Go across sport, they're up there with the best. What happens with the best teams? It's competition. Seriously, can you imagine if LeBron James was coming through at Lakers, whoever he plays for, I don't follow it, and he's coming through, right? And you're like, whoa, we've got a team full of decent players. LeBron James is coming and torn it up for 6 months. End of the season, you're coming into the new year now. He should at least be given a fair opportunity to start. And the manager turns around and it's like, oh, you know what? Let's say the manager is flipping Shaquille O'Neal, right? So he's played basketball the same as Edu. They know what they're doing. They've been in legendary teams. Oh, LeBron James is coming and torn it up, and he's really, shown his stuff, and he's worthy of a starting spot. No, we just go back to square one. You're number 2 still. What is going on? What is going on in this place? It's bollocks. And then you're looking at like, okay, the midfield. We knew that we needed to move on from Xhaka, right? And again, I'm a balanced person. The guy turned around and told the fans to F off, and everyone went nuts over it. And for me, I was peed off, don't get me wrong, but more peed off from the perspective of you have let down every single fan that has supported you throughout your whole time at Arsenal. And there have been a lot of people that have. And I haven't necessarily defended him because he's not good enough to elevate the team. But as a squad player, he's a perfectly fine squad player. There's no problem with him. Even if you were to put Granit Xhaka into a midfield 3 and he is just a guy at the base that plays the simple passes left, right, keeps control of possession, he just stays in sensible positional places like he does. Like, I know the team gets rinsed, but most of the time if you look at what happens when we get broken down, Xhaka is in the right position. He's just not great in that position. But like, if you look at his positioning, he's a sensible player. He doesn't just wander off like Guendouzi did or a Willock would. So if you had a team and you've got Xhaka there, you've got Thomas Partey, you've got a Kante type player, whoever the hell you want to say, Basuma, I don't care. So Xhaka is just a deep lying holding playmaker that just keeps things ticking over. You think he can't do a job in any team like that? It's not a problem. But you cannot have this man as the main go-to guy starting in midfield. From the second they turned around and said, oh, we're keeping Xhaka, we're giving him a new contract, then just give up. Because the midfield is going to be held back. And I saw it against Brentford. And bearing in mind, I didn't have flipping internet connection. I was on my damn phone. Like, I could see, 5 seconds, runner at stop. Next thing, like, it's 10 minutes later because my internet screwed up. And even with that, I'm not going to lie, I watched maybe 15 minutes of that bloody game throughout the full 90. That's how bad the signal is on my phone. And even within that, I saw the usual thing of gets the ball left, right, left, right, up, down, fucking turning around 4 times, and then you pass the ball backwards or sideways. Obviously, it's an exaggeration, but it's just like, he's not a terrible player, but you can't build a squad around the guy like that, man. They can do a job in a tactical role in the team, but you need other people to progress. I don't understand what the fuck is happening that you've got our midfield is what? Xhaka, El Sideways, Lokonga, who is good, Partey, who's obviously good but has had fitness problems ever since he came to Arsenal. Surprise, surprise. Is that it? Smith Rowe? If I'm missing out on anyone, I whatever. But that's the midfield as far as I'm concerned. You look at those players, Xhaka's a good squad player. Partey is starting quality. Smith Rowe is 20 or 21 and he shouldn't be carrying the team. He shouldn't be a starting player. And that's not about talent. He should be slowly just phasing in. Like Fabregas. When the guy was coming up at Arsenal, there was all of these amazing players around him. The same with Van Persie to coach him through. Like, Fabregas did not come through next to flipping... Who have we had in like Coquelin... I don't know, Scalacci at the back and all these dead players. Like, you need proper players in there. The only starting midfielder we basically have in the club is bloody Partey, who's a certified starter. And Xhaka can do a job within a tactical role. But if you're talking about nailed on, this guy is the guy that you can rely on to build the midfielder around and will elevate the team. Partey's the only one. Lokonga is a young player, don't need that pressure. Smith Rowe is a young player, doesn't need that pressure. El Sido is El Sideways, and I can't remember who else there is. Xhaka, whatever. It's bollocks. It's bollocks. 2025 the guy is here for. What? What do you mean a 1-year extension? Oh, so it's got an option for a further year. When does the contract expire before? Okay, whatever. But, I don't even know what I was saying anymore. It's something to do with Xhaka. But, yeah, let's move on the midfield. No. Yeah, the midfield. So, the second that you decide to sign him to a new contract and let him run on in midfield, you're basically saying this sideways slowing down the play, not breaking teams down, is just going to continue for 4 years. Because, like, who are you signing? And then they're saying, oh, they're going for Odegaard still. That's cool. But, again, where is the steel in the midfield apart from Partey? Like, and by steel, I mean backbone. Like, is Odegaard coming in to be the backbone in the midfield? Because, like, you know, even Cazorla, who is not a big, strong, powerful player, he's not defensive and all the rest of it. If you brought Cazorla in and he was going to be like the technical player to progress play and all the rest of it, I would get it. But Odegaard, and don't get me wrong, Odegaard is a great player. He's a very good player. He'll be a good player in the future, whatever. But we need someone with the fucking testicles. There's nothing more that I can say. And when Troy Deeney came out with that cojones thing and everyone went nuts like idiots, and then everyone was saying it over and over again like it was... How many fans have been sitting there saying Arsenal lack balls? I've been saying Arsenal don't have a pair of testicles or a spine since I was like 12, man. For reference, that was 15 flipping years ago. This is nothing new. And then, so, we bring it back to Edu, because I'm just going to go off on all kind of tangents here, because whatever. You bring it back to Edu. Explain to me what the hell this man is doing. Because I was like, look, they're all new people. You need to give them a run, whatever. So I am of the opinion of like an Arteta. When people were Arteta out, when he'd just come in or whatever, I was like, I get it, because it's a punt. But my angle on Arteta was, these guys are not going to sign Conte. What's the point of getting another Unai Emery? You may as well throw the dice and take a gamble with an Arteta. I was happier to appoint an Arteta and give that a shot than to just get another Emery type coach. Because it needs to be an elite coach, in my opinion, or just go with a young, innovative thing. There's no point doing the middle ground, because you're just going to get middling flipping results. And some will sit there and go, oh, look how terrible Arteta is, right? Yeah, but really it's as shit as it would have been under anyone else. If it just effed up. Shit don't work sometimes. But just, what is he doing? I just don't get it. Because basically, you look at our transfer business this summer so far. Transfermarket.com. Oh, this is on my phone, so it's going to be slow-ish. Not too bad. Not to mention Roma just signed Tammy Abraham, so what on earth are Arsenal doing it again? Like, it's just exasperating talking about these fucking idiots, man. So you look at the deal as well, right? Even on that topic too. So right, I'll just go on the fucking transfer histories for all transfers this year, whatever. So again on that topic, and people have been bitching and moaning about, you didn't sell this player, you didn't sell that player. You're not gonna be real. Xhaka, the offer for Xhaka was pulling our pants down, and he's not the biggest problem in the club. Keeping Xhaka is not the biggest problem at the club. Letting him wear the armband is a different story, and letting him be the main man. Oh shit, I was thinking, is this all we've done this year? Rah. But letting him be the main man is the problem, not keeping him. But like, explain to me on our squad list who you're supposed to sell realistically. Are you gonna get rid of where are we at? Kolasinac? No. Are you going to sell... I can't even remember the dead players of the squad anymore, because even Pablo Mari needs to go for me. Who's going to buy him? Who's taking Willian? Who's taking this bloody moron Runarsson? Who's taking any of these players? Maitland-Niles has been pissed around with and should be playing, in my opinion. But of the players we've let go to raise funds in this transfer window, and I don't even remember what my original point is, and I don't care. We've let go of Willock, a young player who could have potential and could have added on to the team. Cool. You've loaned out Matteo Guendouzi, who's been mismanaged in my opinion and could have played the part, but I get it. You let go of Saliba, which I don't get, and I'm telling you now, if this guy comes back and plays a game at Arsenal, I will be shocked. Because his contract, as it says right there, oh no, that's his thing at Marseille. When he comes back from Marseille, I think he's got 3 years left on his deal, or 2 years. In either case, he needs a new contract immediately, because it's going to be final 2 years. He's been fucked around with, and realistically, you're signed by a player loaned out twice. Are you going to play at that club? As a 19-year-old with high potential, his mum died, all of that shit, that's probably down the drain. But the point of all this rambling, look at the players are dead. You can't get rid of these dead players. Let's do squad by position. So the point to all of this rambling is I'm not going to roast Edu for the fact that we can't get rid of these dead players that no one wants to sign. What I'm going to roast Edu on is the fact that if we have let go of someone like where are we at? Oh yeah, of course, he's gone. If you're going to let go of a player like Willock, who scored 8 goals, which is more than the entire midfield for last season. He's a young player, he's 21, he's homegrown English, and then on the same thing on that homegrown English thing, you let go of Martinez, who qualifies for homegrown because he's been at the club for so long, and then you're like, oh, we need to sign a homegrown keeper that's commanding in the book and good playing out from the fucking back. Like, are you retarded or what? I'm sorry, and I don't care if that's not PC. I'm not saying anything to do with someone who has a mental illness, whatever. There's nothing about, oh, you're retarded if you've got some kind of problem. I've had mental illness in my family, so I'm not talking about it like that. But I'm sorry, you've got to be a fucking idiot to sit there and let 21-year-old Willock go without even having a proper run in the team when he could potentially add something to the squad. And then on the flip side, who have we still got? Torreira. I get why we can't sell him. I think he has something to offer, but like there, his contract expires in 2 years. We ain't been able to get rid of him. I don't know what's happening with him. I don't know where he's going. It's a wasted asset. El Neni is still there. No one wants El Neni. No one wanted Xhaka. Cedric, to be honest, is a good player, but I think he should go. Because it's just numbers. No one's signing Kolasinac. No one's signing Chambers. They love Holding for some reason, and he's not good enough. This is such a random, unstructured rant. But whatever. You got Willian, you got Reece Nelson, who's been played around with. No one wanted Nketiah either. Lacazette is down to his final year. It's a shambles, man. The whole thing is just shambolic. The whole thing. And for Edu now, he deserved till the end of this window to assess him fairly. What this window has shown me is two things. Edu is inept, and I already thought he was inept when he let Martinez go. I also thought he was inept when he came out saying Arsenal fans just want boom, Messi, this, that, the other, rah, boom, 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 fucking boom. That is like so arrogant and so condescending, and is everything that is wrong with Arsenal. So for a former player to come out and say shit like that, with the state that Arsenal were in, I was immediately on just FU settings from back then. And like, you ever heard Petit come out and say something like that? Because he says it as it is. You ever heard Kevin Campbell come out and say something like that? Or Ian Wright, or Henry, Vieira, any of these guys? Boo Messi. What are you talking about, man? Look at the flipping squad. Jesus. But the guy just needs to go, man. Eddie's sorry, you've had your chance and you've fucking blown it. And the second thing that this window has shown me is that what everyone should have known. When people will say, oh, the Kroenke spend money. Rare. Do they really spend money? Because I'm not talking... Yeah, let's go on to that, actually. So again, when people are going on about, oh, Kroenke's have spent money, rod. I went on a really, really unstructured tangent there. So I'm cutting back to topic. So on the topics, on the Kroenke's spend money and all the rest of it, it's not about spending money to start with, because what they do is spread payments out over a number of years, and they just basically It's the same. It's the thing I said on the earlier video. I'm pretty sure is everything that they do is effectively like leverage purchasing. So if you're a business and you need to invest in a new fleet of cars, you don't buy it up front, right? You just spread out the payments. So everything that they do is just deferral, 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 deferral. They don't spend money. When people are like, oh, the Kroenke spend money, what are you talking about? If you spread Pepe over 72 million and the club is covering all of those costs, that's not spending money. All that is doing is accumulating a ridiculous debt because you're now paying double what the player's bloody worth because you're spreading out payments because you're cheap. That's not spending money. If you spent money and you're a proper owner, this season the midfield needed fixing. So the first thing that you do if you're a proper owner is you turn around and say, here's 150 million, go spend it on the midfield. And even if they turn around and said, here's 50 million, instead of all these bullshit payments, we've just put 50 million of our own money into the club. Use this money so that you can... Oh, let me turn that off. I'm going to get a load of fucking messages from the group. Use this 50 million so you've got money to pay up front for players. And what I'm saying is, if Ben White, and on that topic of spreading out payments, before I go on the side thing, they're not getting the right players that they actually want, or maybe not necessarily the most ideal players. They're signing the ones that are convenient. Example, Pepe. I like Pepe, great player, very skillful, not used correctly tactically. He's on the back foot, he's having to work back too much, which I don't think working back for a winger is a bad thing, but like he needs to be running in behind, the same as Aubameyang. Shocker, both of them have been shite so far. Well, for the past 12, 15 months, whatever, I don't care. But the player we needed was Zaha. Direct, aggressive, powerful, strong, in the Premier League, knows the thing, can just come in and tear it up. Could we get Zaha? Oh no, we can't afford it because they want most of the cash up front. So we get Pepe for 72 million, ridiculous transfer fee, ridiculous wages of 130 grand a week. So instead of spending, I don't know, 50 million up front, which is probably rare for transfers nowadays because most of them are spread in some way anyway, but instead of just putting 50 million cold hard cash down and just paying the bill up front, you've now got 72 million over 5 years, which is a joke, and 130k a week is a combined, you're talking about just under 7 million a year. So 72 million over that 5-year contract is 14. So the guy is costing you 21 million a season because you spread it out. Whereas if you the guy was worth 40 million effectively. So if you had just spent 40 million on somebody in that window, or recruited cleverly, because there were a lot of players that were available for lower fees around then anyway, and you've seen it this window. How comes teams are still... I can't name individuals because I haven't bloody looked it up properly, but I was talking to my friend about this over the past couple of weeks, so like I'm not talking about BS, but there have been a lot of bargains or good transfers made in this summer. Even Arsenal had a couple. Lokonga is a great signing. Tavares is a good signing. We need a cover for left back. We got it. He cost 7 million. They're both young players. They're both kind of under the radar. That's the kind of transfer business we should be doing. But sitting there pissing 21 million a year down the drain on Pepe, who the manager then plays in a stupid way that doesn't play to his strengths. Are you serious? You may as well, because over that 5 years, that's like a good 100 million that you spent combined on bloody Pepe. Whereas you could have put 50 down for Zaha, had a player that's actually affected the team and progressed it on the pitch. It's not... Just because we spend money and the figures are big, it doesn't mean that you spend it in the right areas. It doesn't mean it's responsible. It doesn't mean you've solved the problems of the team. It doesn't mean you've addressed anything. It doesn't make you a good owner. It doesn't make you an acceptable owner. In fact, it makes you a dogshit fucking owner because the club is now running up debt and has got ridiculous transfers, ridiculous fees, ridiculous fat wages, which is a problem now, which is why we can't get rid of someone like, where's he at? Kolasinac on over $1,000 a week. Over 100k a week. Lacazette is on too much. Even the Aubameyang signing, right? When we signed him and everyone was like, oh yeah, we got him to commit. The first thing that went through my mind is, are you sure that you want to give a 31 or 32 year old like 300 grand a week plus? I know it's with bonuses and all the rest of it, but it's like, for me, I was looking at it, it's like, not only from the perspective of the club, but for Aubameyang signing it, and someone will say, ew, but he gets paid big wages. Fuck off. Look at it logically. For Aubameyang signing the contract, he's given up his chance to win major trophies to commit to Arsenal. So if you're going to go down that route, you need to invest heavily in this squad. Instead, they threw a fuckload of wages at Aubameyang to keep him. And what have we done this year? We signed a centre-back, which I actually think was a priority. It seemed a bit weird, but when I looked at it and thought about it, David Luiz is gone, and he was such a good player playing out from the back. When David Luiz wasn't in that... What does it say? Spieler? Which language am I... What's my VPN set to? Whatever. But, that's weird. But, what was I saying? Something to do with, Aubameyang or... I can't remember what I was saying anymore. Something to do with Aubameyang and his contract. Oh no, Ben White. There we go. Sorry. So Ben White was a priority because David Luiz, when he wasn't in the squad playing out from the back, we were shocked at our attack suffered. We needed a new centre back, and we lost 13 games, and our defence was shit. But we had numbers at centre back, and Ben White alone is still going to come in and be a clown. And I'm not saying that against Ben White, because I've already seen people calling him Ben Shite and all this stuff, and to anyone saying that, I think you're an arsehole. And I don't care what anyone says, you are an arsehole. The dude is 23, he's just come into the club, there's a load of pressure, and he sounded like he could handle it, and credit to him. The whole thing is a shit show. He's had one game in the defence that has been a joke since Arsene Wenger fucking fell off the cliff of sanity years ago. And you're sitting there calling him names and insulting him. Leave the guy alone and just let him play. What's wrong with you? Do you think you could put Van Dijk in that defence and he'd be shit? Seriously, use your brain and look at the problems at this club. But in terms of the central midfield, right, you've got... So we had the numbers at centre-back, White, Gabriel, Holding, Chambers, Mari. There's enough players there. Excluding White, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bloody players. We loaned out Mavropanos, who probably could have come in and actually done a job for us. That's a 5th one. And Saliba, 6. We didn't need a centre-back based on numbers. What we needed was a left-back, which we got. Fine. We also need a new right-back. Nope. Not done it. We also needed... in my opinion, we needed 3, if not 4 central midfielders. And what I'm saying by that is we're not getting rid of Torreira, most likely. I didn't hear anything about El Neni maybe going to Turkey, and there was nothing. Our midfield is a joke. I'm just looking at it. Wow. Yeah, Partey, Xhaka. And Xhaka has question marks over him, but he's error prone. Lokonga, they're the only... So we basically have... I know I just said it, but... Well... But we need 4 players in midfield, in my opinion. We need 2 creative players. And that's not exclusively centre attacking midfielders, just 2 creative players. We need a CDM. And I'd say for the purposes of the squad, so with those 3 added, I'm going to include the number 10 position in the total numbers. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4 midfielders. Then I would say, yeah, you definitely need another 3, minimum. Because we've only got 3 players, in my opinion. Well, 4, sorry. No, yeah. No. Yeah, we need 4. These 2 should be coming in. 3, sorry. These 2, at least 3. These, Smith Rowe and Lokonga shouldn't be playing starting roles. We definitely need another 3, and they should be like adding squad depth and obviously playing regularly. But, man, and on that topic, so the Kroenkes just don't put any money into the club. They haven't invested because this wasn't a case of self-sustaining. No, you had to put your hand in your pocket in this window to fix this club. Because at the very least, if you're not going to put your hand in your pocket to sign players, you need to put your hand in your pocket and cancel Kolasinac's contract so he's not a burden anymore. You need to put your hand in your pocket and say, you know what? We fucked up in a goalkeeping position and we need a backup. At least, here's 20 million, go sign a goalkeeper, at the bare minimum. Or Willian, I don't know how you get rid of his wages, and on the topic of Edu being a failure, that's another one. But These owners are shambolic, because what this window has shown me is that either Edu and Arteta have done the most shambolic job ever, and they have more money to spend, and they've just pissed it down the drain and fucked around all window, which wouldn't surprise me. Or the Kroenkes just haven't given them the money to be able to do what they need to do, which is obviously the case anyway. And on that topic, there's still no excuse for improving the midfield, because are you telling me that you can't sign some other young, reasonably unknown players? I know we need experience, but if you've given Xhaka a contract, Partey is experienced as well. El Sideways can do an El Sideways job, and although he's not really great, he is experienced. Go and find another Lokonga. Go and find another Smith Rowe. Go and find a young player that can potentially come in, be a kind of dark horse, no unknown quantity, and play a part. Give Joe Willock a go. It's just bullshit, man. I'm just sick of all this rubbish, and there's just mistakes that are unacceptable. Like the goalkeeping situation is unacceptable and shambolic, and I will never stop going on about it because it's bullshit. People say move on.
Oh hell no!
No, this isn't a case of move on, because you need to look at the behaviour traits there. If you're capable of fucking up like that with the goalkeeping position, what else are you? How can you be trusted to make decisions on this squad? With this squad, it's bollocks. It's bollocks. And Arteta's got to go, man. Arteta's got to go. It's the end of the road as far as I'm concerned on that topic. It's kind of depressing looking at Arsenal, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know where we're going. I don't understand what the Kroenkes are doing. And even, like, I understood what the Kroenkes were probably doing in terms of, I've said it before, they're just leveraging debt. They're leveraging their assets to accumulate more debt and to increase their wealth overall. That's what they're doing. It's a long-term investment strategy for them. They look at Arsenal and they see numbers. There's nothing wrong with it. Objectively, in a business sense, it's a clever tactic, but I mean, I know they're clueless, but even for people who are clueless, and like, even when I talk to people who are not Arsenal fans and don't watch football, period, they kind of, I just explain to them stuff, or they'll just pick stuff up from around the media and they just think like, something don't sound like, it's not common sense. Just tell me, if you're Kroenke, right, the Super League thing is fucked up, and it will probably come back, and there'll probably be something like that will replace it anyway. If people are just being realistic about it, it's not the end of that whole saga. There'll be something else that will come up, because these guys have sniffed money, and when people that wealthy and that depraved smell money collectively, they'll find a way to go after it, believe me. But I don't understand what they're actually trying to do anymore, because like, if things continue like this, the only way for Arsenal is backwards, and I don't understand what they are getting out of this, because you've had sponsors coming out and saying Arsenal are shit, basically. Results are going to be like, how long do you think it's going to be before Arteta gets sacked? Realistically, what is it now? It's the 17th of August. Let's look at fixtures. So realistically, I forget the Carabao Cup. That's a loss. I don't care what anyone says. Maybe Arsenal will pull it out the bag. They seem to be able to do that with Chelsea recently, but I'm calling it a loss. That's a rape. I don't know. That could be anything. Even the Brentford game, to be honest, I was saying, my girlfriend was saying, oh, Arsenal should just win that, right? Because it's the easiest game in the league, effectively, because they qualified like via the playoffs. They didn't even get automatically promoted. And I was like, yeah, but to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal lost that game. To be honest with you, I would have been more surprised if they actually turned up and just did the job, which they didn't. But I kind of thought October he could be gone. That's going to be fun. Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, Arsenal aren't beating Palace. Sorry, Leicester. They're not beating Villa. Crystal Palace, who knows, because they just got thumped by someone. But It's an unknown quantity, but there's Wilfred Zaha. It's the same bloody players pretty much, so we know how that script goes. And Brighton, who knows? But seriously, when you look at this fixture list, do you see Arsenal winning any of these games? Realistically. There are teams that Arsenal should beat. I'm not talking about should. Do you see them winning any of these games? For me, I don't see how Arsenal win. Can you imagine Joe Willock is gonna fuck? Oh my! Joe Willock is gonna tear us a new arsehole. I bet you he scores a couple goals against Arsenal. It's done, man. The whole thing's done. And for anyone that had any doubts over Kroenke or was sitting there saying trust the process or all the rest of it, have you seen enough now? And I'm not even getting on people's back because I was of the opinion you have to give him time. But Arteta, for me, going into this window, if you stayed with Arteta, you had to back him and you had to back him properly. And people were like, oh, he's been backed, he's had players. Yeah, he's had more players than Emery had, but the squad is still a joke. But he's had enough time for me to see, like, as a manager, forget it. Forget it, he's not good enough at all. Just... it's just all exasperating, man. It's all exasperating. It's all exasperating. It's draining. I kind of feel like I've got it all out of my system for now. Can't be bothered to talk about the board, but there's a protest next Sunday, I think it is. When's the Chelsea game? I think that is next Sunday. Where are we at? Yeah, I think it starts at 3. Get your ass down there, seriously. If there's anyone that can make it to that protest and doesn't go, don't get me wrong, if you've got more important things to do in your life, forget it. But if you're one of those people that sits there, runs up your mouth about you want things to change and you're not at that protest, just stop supporting the club, seriously. And if you can't get to the protest, just tweet Kroenke out. Do something, man. I'm just sick. This fan, I'm going to say it, and I didn't want to be like attacking other fans on this channel because there's a lot of channels that kind of get involved in all that kind of nonsense and it doesn't help to unify everyone. But I'm just going to say this. If you want things to change and you're an Arsenal fan, please grow a pair of testicles and do something about it. Like, these guys need to be seriously hit in the pocket and the club needs to be turned into uproar. And I'm not talking about trashing a stadium or anything like that. And to be honest with you, if people did want to go out and trash the stadium, I'm not endorsing it, but it serves them flipping right. And there's a part of me, again, I'm not saying go out and trash the Emirates, I'm not going out and trashing the Emirates, but there's a part of me that just wants to see the whole club burn to the ground and just reset, to be honest with you, because I'm sick of it. I started to get sick of it years ago, and I mean being a kid that just couldn't afford tickets because it's a rip-off. I was peed off back then. Going into the shop and like what used to be a 30-40 quid top is now 80-90, now £100 plus. Fucks me off because you're not running the club for fans, and football's changed. It's not about fans, they don't care, it's about money. But how is it that German clubs, I know Schalke have problems and others, but there are certain clubs around the world that are still running the spirit of the fans, and the fans are involved and they're really respected and they don't have these problems. It's no surprise that England has this problem in football. It really isn't, because England as itself gives a shit about nothing but money. It doesn't care about people, it cares about tax. That's the UK government in a nutshell. And that culture just bleeds down into everything. I mean, what are we doing, man? Just what are we doing? I don't know what is happening with Ek, and to be honest, I don't care. People always seem, there was a Dangose, there was the Usmanov people going on about it for years. When a bid comes in and they get into talks and they try and hash out a deal, then get excited and start talking about it. Until then, it's like when these people this is why I don't get too bothered with transfers. I'm not interested. I'll wait and see what happens, and then I'll judge it then. There's no point, are we going to get this player? Are we going to get that player? You either see them on the arrival screen when the deal is done, or you don't. Stop following paper trails. Focus on the most important issues at the club. And you know the other thing that pees me off, right? Is why is it that Arsenal fans, it's taken this long and for shit to get this bad before there are tickets on general sale for a game like Chelsea? Like, you wait, why is it now that instead of being proactive, and this is when everyone says the club needs to be proactive, this, that, the other, where do you think that culture stems from, of the club just being able to get away with everything? Because fans do fuck all. For Arsenal fans are some of the most moronic fucking fans on planet Earth. Seriously, complacent as hell. Don't stand for this crap. How are you seriously? I looked at it years ago and sat there and I'm thinking, so you're charging this much for a pie, you're trying to rip me off with tickets, the team is a joke, you ain't investing, you're mugging us off, then you're sitting there being condescending, rude, arrogant. Wenger is protecting these arsehole owners and all the rest of it instead of being honest with the fans, so I lost a lot of respect for him. You're appointing shambolic managers, you're not signing the guys that the manager want, you won't communicate with fans, then you outright lie to us and deceive to us, you chat around and chat shit like be excited, and just all of this shit. And it's only now, after being mugged off for over a decade and a half, that people are like, well, I'm not going to go to the games. Not out of principle, not out of protest, not because you want to get things changed, because it's so boring, there is now no point to watch it because it's not entertaining. I guarantee you, if we had Pep Guardiola or someone in there playing with that team playing amazing football and still losing games as it is, and the club still being as condescending and arrogant and ripping us off as they do with shit signings, I can guarantee you people will be going to that match on Chelsea because they're morons. Like, what do you need Arsenal to do? Bend you over and fucking try and shove it up your ass before you grow a pair of testicles? What's wrong with you? Seriously. Oh man, but anyway, I've rambled for long enough, I think. But it needs to change, man. It really needs to change. Get to the protest. Get to the protest, and as far as this season goes, forget it. Forget it. Do something else with your life, man. Learn a new skill. Go out with your friends and family. Jack off for 90 minutes instead of watching the game. I don't care, but it's just... There's nothing. It's just as it is, man. It's just going to be as it is. And whoever they sign, forget it. It's a panic. Whatever they do, there is nothing that Arsenal can do to get me behind this nonsense. Like, they've shown their hand, and this was supposed to be the Kroenke saying, what, we're going to be aggressive in this window is what they said. We're going to be aggressive. This is them being aggressive. So for anyone out there that will say, oh, you know, and there can be way worse owners than the Kroenkes, but for anyone that is out there and will say, like, you know, they spend money, they do all this kind of stuff. This was the window where, after the Super League debacle and all the rest of that shit, this was when they had to put a marker down and say, this is what we're about, and prove to the fans, like, we are the right people to be in charge of Arsenal. Look at the window, look at who we signed, look at the squad, look at the manager still there, look at the BSPR nonsense coming out from the club. That should tell you all you need to know. They've shown their hand, Edu has shown his hand, Vinay has shown his hand, in that he just does nothing. I mean, Garlic signed people to new contracts, so whatever. And Arteta showed his hand last year. It's done, man. Whole thing's done. And just prepare for the ride, because it's not even that it is going to get worse. It has to get worse to get these owners out. And let me put it this way. People say I'm not a fan and all this kind of shit. I would rather see Arsenal get relegated this season, we get new owners, we come back up and the club is run properly and we can actually progress, than continue along this BS. That's my perspective. I'm talking about the long-term good for Arsenal. If it took Arsenal being relegated for this club to have a new board, new owners, get new coaches in and start going in the right direction, I would bite the bullet. But most people, you're not a fan, all this BS. Me saying that from a long-term perspective, if Arsenal had to get relegated for this club to be torn to shreds and started again properly, is not me saying I want Arsenal to get relegated. I'm talking about the greater good for the club. There's no point sitting there like, oh, maybe we can scout fourth this season. If we scout fourth, then what? What do you think's going to happen under the Kroenkes? Fuck all. It's just going to be a holding pattern. And on that, I'm out, man. I'm out. Please like, please subscribe. Believe it or not, I was actually trying to not swear or use vulgar language, because I do quite often. Because I'm just kind of like honest and truthful in general. Like when I get passionate about something, my language just becomes very, very very direct, let's say. Like it's just no holds barred. But seriously, please do like, please do subscribe. Get comments in, because I want to hear what people think. And yeah, please support the channel any way you can, man. Really, 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 really important to get those likes in. And peace. I'll be recording the new intro as well. I was supposed to do it, but internet problems, moving in, yada yada. Like, just kind of got this room sorted a bit, so I now have at least a working desk as opposed to sitting on the hard floor, which is nice, which is very nice. But yeah, I'll have a new intro coming out at some point very soon, because I'm supposed to be, well, I will be filming it probably early next week, and if not early next week, definitely next week. But internet coming today as well, so yay, I can get some more consistent uploads going. And yeah, there'll be a lot of content coming. There won't be another gap like that, honestly. It's just because I was moving and I had no internet for 2 weeks, so there's not really much I could do. But yeah, I've rambled again for long enough. I'll see you whenever the next one is. Peace.